All right. So what about the transportation models or transportation problems? Let me share the screen quickly that you may be able to see. Now, this one is a kind of the problem or the models that help you to ascertain the minimum costs, of transportation. This is where we are looking at the goods that are being transported from a set of sources. Yeah. So the goods, we have already reported that the goods are being transported. They're being transported from a set of sources to a set of destinations. Okay, so you have the keywords. You have sources, then you also have some destinations. Okay, so you are transporting some goods from some sources. They are going to some destinations, and this is subject to supply and demand respectively. So such that your transportation should be done in such a way that the cost of transportation is minimized. Okay, so that's what transportation models are. So we are transporting some goods from different sources, right? And then they are also going to different destinations. And this is done subject to the supply and demand. Yeah, then we are doing it in such a way that the cost of transportation has to be minimized. You're good?
Following, sir.
Okay. So now the different types that are available, one, there is what we call a balanced transportation problem, a balanced transportation problem. Let me just say TP. This is where supply equal demand, yeah? Yes, so I was saying that this is where the supply equals demand. This is for balance the transportation problem. Then we also have unbalanced transportation problem. This is the second type, unbalanced transportation problems. So this one is where supply is not equal to demand. You get it, right? Supply is not equal to demand. So given, for example, let's have this short one. Don't worry, I've already read the notes properly, and this is the easiest way of you understanding what I'm presenting. Yeah, I'm trying to summarize everything so that you quickly get it. This is the easiest way to have one understand and follow. So I've extracted just examples from the module. So you have, sources on the other side. And then from there, these are the sources. We have three sources where the goods are coming from. And the top ones, A, B, C, are destinations. Then you have supply, right? On the other side. We have supply this side, and we have demand down here. We just have demand, all right? We have demand. So from source number one, we are supplying, let's say, you are given 2 units, you have 7 units. Let's say you also have 5 units. You have 3 units, 4 units, and 2 units here, and you will have 5 units, 4 units, and 7 units. Then in terms of supply, you have 200 supplied from one source one, 300 supply, and 500 supplied. Then in terms of demand here, you have 200 demanded in destination A. We have 400 demanded destination B, and you got 400 demanded destination C. Yeah. So now listen, what we mean when we say the 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 problem is balance or unbalance, all right? So if and only if when you add the supply and when you add demand, they give you the same value, it means the problem is what? Is balance. Is that clear?
It is. So
Yes.
that's the
So
first type of transportation mode.
yes, where you add, let's say, add supply, 200 plus 300 plus 500 gives us 1,000 supply, right? Then when you add again 200 plus 8 plus 400 and 400 gives us 1,000. This is said to be a balanced what? A balanced problem. Is that clear?
It is. So these figures 275, these are the amount of goods which have been supplied or what?
These are units. Yeah.
The units of goods.
Yeah, these are how should I say? They're more like production stations. Okay.
Or
So
the
so
sources.
yeah, the sources are there are three sources. There is source one, two, three, right? These are sources, but we have some units. Anyway, you will see how we are using them when we get started in the problem or solving the problems. Really, yeah.
And then on the supply and the demand, is it the supply from the firm side or the supply from the producer side?
Look, the one who supplies is a producer. You know that from
Or
economics. Then the one who
yes.
demands is the consumer. Okay. So this is an example of the this is an example of a balanced one, a balanced one. However, if you read, for example, you also find that the values are not matching. I want to tackle and balance at the same time. You read, you find that these figures are not really agreeing. For example, find that maybe supply is equal to 1,000. Then which one is this? Um, the other one is not equal to 1,000. Let's say the other one maybe is 900, eh? Okay.
Mm.
Let's say the supply. This. Okay, let's start from where we say the supply is 1,000, right? When you read your supply is equal to 1,000, then you find that your demand is 900. You follow? Your supply when
Mm-hmm.
you add is is that okay? It's 1,000, but the demand is 900. What you're going to do, you're going to create another column, all right? Another column for that matter, or create a dummy column. A dummy column that will just have zeros, and the way how it will be done is that the number that you're going to put here on the demand, since there is a shortage on demand side, right? Um, let's say there is a shortage on demand side. Okay, let me change here. You see what I'm talking about. Let me put, for example, 300 here, right? So when you total this will be 900, right?
Mm-hmm.
The demand will be less than the supply, right? You're following, eh? The
Yes.
demand will be
Yes.
900, total will be 900, but the supply is 1,000. At that point, what you're going to do, you're going to create another column, all right? But the way how you create it, you just take the difference between the maximum of the maximum and the minimum of these two. Here, the maximum is supply 1,000 minus 900. So there is a difference of 100, right? There's a balance of 100. You get the point, eh?
Uh-huh.
So you're going to create another column. Another column here, you fuse in another column that will just have we'll have 100 here where there is, for example, 900. You will have 100 here, right? And then there will be another column going upwards here. And that will have just zeros, zero, zero like that. This column shall be called a dummy column. Now, at this point, if you added them, they will be equal. You get it, right? When you add demand will be 1,000, and also supply will be equal to what? 1,000. Clear? You just introduce, that is the step. When you find an balanced transportation model, you have to balance it before you proceed. Balancing is always important. You need to balance it. Okay? Are we still connected? Hello? All right. Are you back now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is how you create the dummy column and you try to balance the problem. So I was emphasizing that whenever you find the problem is not balanced, please always have to begin by balancing the problem. Is that clear?
So you mean always the supply and the demand should be equal?
It has to be balanced, yes. So if it's not balanced, you have to balance. And this is the procedure of balancing it. Now, I have shown you what to do when the demand is the one that is not, is the one that is insufficient, where there is a shortage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What if now we have the opposite? Let's say the demand, the supply is the one where we have a shortage. And now instead of 500 here, I'll just put 400, for example. I'll just put 400 here. All right. This 300 will remain the same way how it was. Imagine you find such a problem. All right. How do you balance it? You have already seen how you balance the first one, right? I've shown you.
Yes.
You just introduce. Now, what if you have the opposite, of that? When you reach here, for example, when you total your demand, you total your demand. Let's say this will go back to where it was 400. When you total the demand equals what? Equals 1,000, right? You've seen that, right? Have you seen that when you total demand is equal to 1,000, right?
Yes.
Now, when you total your your supply, have you seen that there is a shortage there now? When you total your supply now equals to 900. You get, when you total your supply, it will be like this. It will be 900. So there will be a shortage of 100, right? Hello?
Hello?
Are you able to see
Yes,
that there will be a
Father.
shortage of?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. So now that shortage of 100 is what you're going to record here so that it becomes balanced. And this column, this will be a row now. This new row which you have put that as I'm not saying cancel this. This is not really about canceling this. It's just introduce another row in short where it will be equal to 100 and put everything equal to 0 in these cells. It will be called a dummy row now. This will be a dummy row. So when supply is less than demand, you've seen, right? Then you will have
Mm-hmm.
a dummy row. You introduce a dummy row. Okay, a dummy row simply means it just has zeros, then equals to that shortage. Then when the demand is the one that is less than supply now, okay, where demand is the one that is less than supply, like the one we had at first, then you introduce a dummy what? A dummy column. You get it, right? It'll be a dummy column here.
Yes.
You have to, yeah, you have zeros like that. So that's very, very important as we start. That's very important. Balancing these, so that they are equal. It becomes a balanced, how should I say it? A balanced, it's a balanced what? It's a balanced problem, all right?
Yes.
We have delivered that point. You need to take it home. So having said that, please, you don't have to be forgetting these steps. We'll need to be reverting back to them again and again as we'll be progressing. So now, having recorded that, then now let's go ahead and
Ah, so,
hello, hello.
yeah, I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So like when we are this, like for example, in business practical, who formulates this table? Is it the supplier, the producer, or the team?
Oh, okay. Observe that the table has data both from the supply and the demand side. It's an analyst who does this. Yeah, or the operations officer like you have to get data from, look, how much are we going to supply? Oh, this much. Those people who are demanding, they want how much there. You understand the way how you people do stuff, for example, at Hungry Lion, right? You check how much are we going to supply. Okay, we are going to supply this much, or these packs, whatever, for example. And then how many people want from which destination? We need to do a delivery this side. We need to do a delivery that side of this pack. You get the idea, right?
Yes.
Mm. So it doesn't really matter much who does what. Okay, so now let's get to the other part of the conversation, which is very critical. Now, the methodology or the points of problems that can be asked is how do you find the initial basic solution and how to optimize, this cost. To optimize the cost simply means to find the minimum possible cost, right? Remember, our focus is to reduce cost. So there are two steps involved. Number one is to learn how to find the initial basic solution. That's how to set up the problem. Then from there, you need to learn how to optimize using the MODI method as well. Okay, so just that when you know those, how to optimize the balanced and the unbalanced transportation problem using the MODI, then you are done with the topic. Those are just the key things. Okay. So we need to talk about finding initial basic solution, of which you cannot optimize if you don't have the initial basic solution. So you have to start from, the initial basic solution. Okay. This has been recorded. We are okay, right?
Yes,
Okay. Now let's have a record that there are three key methods that you may meet in exams. One of optimizing or of finding the initial basic solution. There is one method that is called the northwest, the northwest corner rule. The northwest corner rule or corner approach method. Then there is the least cost sale method, and also you have the VAM, which is the Augers approximation what? Approximation method VAM. Okay, yeah, good. These are the three key ones. These are methods that are used to come up with the what? With the initial basic solution, which will later on lead you into optimization. So now, as for now, are you still connected? Hello, are we still connected? Oh, we have lost this one. So I was recording that there are three key methods that are used, to optimize these problems, the costs, or minimize the costs. We have the northwest corner rule. approach. Then we have the least cost method and the Vogels approximation method, VAM. Okay, so these are the three key ones that one of the persons may want to examine you on, right? You should be comfortable with all of them. Are we good?
We are both.
Now, having recorded that, let me now start with the, of course, in your assignment, you had the VAM. You had the VAM. That is question one. You were just seeing something called VAM. You didn't really know what is VAM.
Understand what it was.
Yeah, anyway, you'll be good. So now let's have a problem, an example. We'll use the same example to solve all the three methods, then so that you can understand. I'll record a simple problem here. Let me put it in the middle so that we are good. We'll have this problem here. These are destinations, you know, on top, we always have destinations A, B, C, and D. Okay. We have these destinations. This space is too small. Let me just A, B, C, and D like that. This side there is supply. Okay. And then from the supply side, we also have the sources this side. These are sources. So you have sources 1, 2, 3, 4. You have source 1, source 2, source 3, right? And then let's have the numbers. You have the units of 3, 1, 7, and 4. You have 2, 6, 5, and 9. You got 8, 3, 3, 2, and then you have your supply. For S, I've just put S for supply. So you have 300, you got 400, you got 500 here, and you also have 250 here. You're following, eh? 350.
Yeah.
And from there, you got 400. From 400, you have 200. Okay. So I am dealing with the one that is already balanced, since you already know how to balance if it is not balanced. So instead of wasting time, I've just gone direct to the one that is balanced. So having said this, we have the demand. We know this is demand here, then there is a supply the other side. So how do you use the north? Listen, the steps to use the north what? The north west. Yes. The northwest corner rule. The northwest corner rule works like this. So which one is the northwest corner rule that we have? In the northwest corner rule that we have, the figure is this 3, right? Actually, let me write it here. It's a 3. So it means we are starting from what? From 3. When we reach at 3, listen, we are going to do an allocation, all right? An allocation in that particular cell. Okay? You're going to do an allocation in this particular cell, all right? So how do you do an allocation? So you will check the demand is 250. The supply is what? 300, isn't it? Where they meet in that cell. Demand is 300. Then the demand is what? 250. Supply is 300, right? So they meet in that cell. So you write the minimum of the two, the smallest of the two. Which one is the minimum? Is 250, right? So you're going to allocate 250. You're following, eh?
Yes.
Now, when you allocate 250 here, what happens? in this column, the column for A, you find that when you add the total column for A, it should add up what? Up to 250. Since we have already allocated the entire 250, it means we would delete the entire column like that. You're following, eh?
Yes.
We just delete the entire column because the total that we have allocated is totaling up to the total demand. Then when you move in the row, the first row, we have allocated the 250, but the total should be what? 300, isn't it? So since we have already allocated 250, we remain with what? With 50, isn't it? That's what will remain with that side if you move along that particular row. Are we good?
To remain with how much?
With 50.
Oh, okay. So I
300
subtracted the
minus 250.
250. Okay.
And then from there, we are going to proceed. It means we are done with this particular row, the column A. So we have just remained with what? B, C, and D, right? Then again, we are going to go to the northwest corner. Which one now is the northwest corner? It is on B, right? It's 1, isn't it?
Yes.
It's on 1 here. So here we are going to do the allocation. And again, you know how we do the allocation. The intersection is between now 350 demand and the 50. No, it's in the row.
400.
Like, no, it's 550. Like you are in the first row first. You're still in the first row. The number 1 is in the first row where the supply is equal to 50 now.
Okay.
You've seen it, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So we write what? The smallest, 50. Okay. So at this point, when you add horizontally, we have 300, right? 250 plus that 50 now is equal to 300, and that 50 has been eradicated. So we have everything has been now. We'll cancel everything for this particular row. The whole row will go now because everything has been adding up now, has managed to add up to 300. 300 column, everything allocated, right? The supply, you just add 300 things to supply. You have supplied the first 250 to destination A. The remainder you supply to B. That's all. You have nothing else to supply, right?
Yes.
You're following, eh? Mm-hmm.
But for source A, why did we cancel in the row? Then the second one, you canceled the column.
Okay. So when we supplied the 250, when we had to put 250. They demanded 250, right? 250 is the minimum of this. So we wrote 250 here. Now listen. You have been as A, you asked for 250, right? Yeah. You wanted the 250 from either, from either source 1, 2, or 3, right? Because you're not sure which source is going to supply you. Okay, these are different suppliers. These are just more like suppliers. So from all these suppliers, supplier 1, 2, 3, you wanted them to give you the total of 250, isn't it? Now, one supplier has already supplied you, just the very first supplier. First supplier gave you the whole 250. Do you still want to demand anything? You are done, right? You have gotten everything that you want. That's why we canceled this. It means that supplier 2 and 3, they will not be able to supply you because the demand has been reached already. Like you have already received everything you want. You got it, eh? That's why we canceled. We have canceled these suppliers now. Supplier 2 and 3, they will not supply A in that case. You got it, eh?
Yes.
Then when it comes to the supplying, let's get back to the row where we have the supplier. The supplier is supplying 300, but he has just managed to supply. Now this 300 he can either supply to A, to B, to C, or to D. You get it, eh? Now, out of the total 300 that he has already supplied 250 to A, which means the remainder that he has to supply to the next person. He has to supply to B. And at that point now, he has finished supplying everything he had. That's why we canceled the entire what? Entire row. Like this supply is done supplying. He had a total of 300 to supply, and everything has been supplied. Okay? Hope you're not getting confused now. I'm trying to simplify.
No, I'm trying
Sometimes
to
when
get
you
a
try to
point.
simplify, you end up confusing people further.
I know.
Okay. We
So
are
since
done.
you've cancelled, sir,
Mm-hmm.
another
Mm-hmm.
question. Since you've cancelled the number of units for CNG, so mean that CNG won't be able to order,
Yeah, they won't
or
be able to order from A. They can order either from, or they won't be able to order from supplier one, but they can still either order from 2 or 3. It's still possible for them to order. But from one, guy one has supplied everything they had, so it's not possible. So let's get to the next one. Which one is the northwest corner now? It's 6, right?
yes.
6 is the northwest corner.
And
So
then, sir,
we know. Hmm?
when choosing the northwest corner, do we use the compass?
Yeah, you know the compass. There is north, west, east, south. Northwest is here.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So which one is the minimum? We have 350 and the. Oh, this is not 350s. Sorry, because they had already allocated what? 50 to.
50, 300.
It's just 300 now. We have remained with it 300 here. You get, it was 350 cancelled to 300. So it's the 300 pesos 400, right? So which means we'll write 300. You're following, eh? Is the smallest.
Yes.
And the 300, everything now, B demanded the 300, right? That's what had remained. And we have also supplied the entire 300. What are we going to do? We will cancel this one. The entire row, like the entire column is done. You get it, eh? Then let's move along the row. We have supplied 300. We had 400. It means we have remained with what?
100.
With 100. Okay. Let's go to the next what? Next corner one. Which one
Northwest
is
is
the?
Mercedes.
No, we haven't done. There is still 5 here that has not been allocated. 5, 9, 2, 3. Understand?
Okay. So the next one
So
is 5.
5 is the northwest. Is 5. And after this 5, how much are we allocating? I think 100. 100 we shall allocate, isn't it? Smaller than 400. Okay? And if you have already allocated 100 in this row, what do we do? And it has finished. So we cancel the entire row. We cancel this, isn't it?
Yes.
We have just remained with what now?
Yeah,
With
3 and
you.
2.
Yes. Which one is the northwest? It's the 3, right?
Yes. Sir, on the demand from the northwest
Oh,
for 5, are we not
yeah.
supposed to subtract it?
We are
Supposed to
subtracting
remain
here
300.
300 now from 400. So 3, this is free, right? It was free.
Mm-hmm.
You remain with 300. Right?
Mm-hmm.
300 and 300. How does it go now? This one will cancel, right? Everything will finish. This is 300, 300. This side will be 200, right? And since you have all remained with only one cell here, you have just remained with two, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can get the remainder and just put here 200. And you see that it is now balancing, right? 200, 200 the other side. Because this is a balanced cell. You get the remainder you can put in the last column. This process, have you understood, of northwest?
Yes, sir, I have.
Ask your questions in advance before we suffer.
No, I don't have any question unless otherwise.
Okay. So the optimal cost in this case for initial basic solution shall be the multiplication of these allocated cells. So for example, the first one will be 250. 250 times 3. You've seen the way how the numbers work now, those that you are asking. The next one will be 50 times 1. The next one will be 300 times what? 6. Are you still there?
Mm-mm.
You're not there.
Yes.
We are multiplying the allocated cells, like how much has been allocated times the units that are available, like this, the weights. So you say 250 times 3 here, 50 times 1 here, 300 times 6, 500 times what? Times 5. Or 100 times 5. Hope you have started following now. Then the next one will be
Mm-hmm.
300, and
The 3.
then the next one will be 200
Yes, 2.
by 2, like this. When you add everything here, what do you find? You have to multiply that times that plus that plus that, that times that, and add everything together. Then that will be your optimal costs. Or that will be your cost, first of all, that you have to minimize. The total initial cost will be that much. You get it, eh? So 250
Mm-hmm.
times the 3, we know that this is 750 plus 50, 800. That's 800, right? Then 300 times the 6 is what?
300
1
times
8,
6 is like 1 8.
1 8. All right. 1 8 plus 500, 1 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 3. So we have 800 and 1 3. 800 and 1 3. This is 900. 300 times 3 is 900. 900 plus 400 is 1 what? 1 3 as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is 2 3, not right? Because this will be 1 8, 1 8 plus 500. That will be 2 3. This will be 1 8. What is this? 750. It will be just 800, right? 750 plus 50, 800. Then this will be 900, 1 3. So we are just adding those three. 2 3 plus 1 3. That gives us what? 3 6, yeah? 3 6 plus 800. What is 3 6 plus 800? 4 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is 4 4. So anyway, if you had a calculator, you wouldn't have gone this far, like that long. I was just trying to Yeah, simplify things. 4. So 4,400 is the initial basic cost using the Northwest approach. Okay. We are done with this one, yeah?
Yes.
Now let's use another rule, which is called the least cost method, using same example. A, B, C, D, right? And I'll put S for supply. Supply 300, 400, and 500. Okay. 1, 2, 3, these are the sources. And the demand is 250, 350, 400, and 200, right? And then you get these numbers. The small numbers that we had was 3. Look at the way now how I'm writing them strategically. I'm writing them in a corner, near like the corner, so that we can create that space for allocation. You remember what we were doing previous. And you have 2, you got 6, 5, 9, you got 8, 3, 3, and 2, 500. Right? We know that when you add everything here, it will agree to 1, 2. So it's a balanced stuff. So now listen, how do we work with this? This one is called the least cost sale method. So we are among the cells, these cells that we have here. Which one is the least, the smallest number? That is the cell that will start from. You're getting it, eh? The smallest. So it should mark the difference between Northwest. This is the smallest. The smallest is 1, right?
Yes.
On all these, like, we are not saying Northwest. If the smallest is here, you can still do it there. Where the smallest is, so it is on
Where
there.
you start from.
Again, so you check the smallest between supply and demand is 300, right? We recall 300, isn't it? Cancel this will remain with 50. This and that will cancel because you in 300. We are done, right? You're following, eh? Like for the row 1, like the first row, we are done. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you following?
We are together. I am,
Okay.
sir.
And then from there, we go again, we check the list number. These ones that have not been, dealt with. All right. These ones that have not really been dealt with, because this one has been cancelled, like the entire row has been cancelled. So we need to check which one is the least now. These that have remained is 2, right?
Yes, 2. And there are 2 2s.
Yes, we can choose whichever. So I can even opt to choose this one. Here we are locating what? 250, isn't it? Right? And we will cancel this one because you need 250. Then this one will remain with what? 150, right?
Which one?
The row or the supplier, the second row, it will be 150.
But on the second source there, we are allocating how much? 350, but you had to put 300.
Where?
On the
We had
first
to put
one.
300. We are choose between there. It was 350 versus 300. So you put the minimum. 300 was the minimum. That's why we had to put 300. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we have remained with 150 as well, the other side. So we know that we are done with this column. Then column A, we pack it. Now, these ones that have remained, which one is the least? It's still 2. 2 is still the least, right?
Yes.
And we have 200 versus 500. So we put 200
200
here. And in the column, since there is 200, we will cancel the entire column
column.
that remains. Then here will remain with 300. You're following, right? And then which other number has remained? We have
3.
just remained with we have just remained with these 3. And there are 2 3s. Can deal with this one, for example. This one is 300 versus 300 versus 300, 2 or 50. Right, there's 50 here, there is also 300 here. So it's 50, right? You're following, right?
Yes.
If this is 50, then this one will be cancelled because
Which
it's you
one?
have this one where there is 60 here. You will cancel because we're cancelling the entire row. Okay, we are done the allocation. We needed 350. We have finished. The destination is B. They have picked everything they wanted. They wanted 350. Now they have received everything. They got 300 from supplier 1. They got 50 from the third supplier, which means the second supplier will not supply anything. That's why we canceled this one. Okay. We have remained with 2 numbers, right?
And then here on 50, sir, on the low, we've remained with 300.
Oh yeah, so it will reduce to 250, right? Yeah. Then we have just remained with 5 and 3. Obviously, 3 is the smallest, isn't it? Yeah. So which one is the smallest? Obviously, it's 250, right?
250, yes.
So 250 and 250, this entire row is done allocation. With allocation, then this one will remain with 150. And the 5 is the smallest in this case. So it will be 150 versus 150. You've seen it is now balancing. It's 150, 150 everywhere. You've seen it, right? 150 this side, 150 the other.
Oh, okay, yes.
Then now, as usual, we go back. This is called the least cost method. You go to the allocated cells. It will be 250 times what? 2, right? Plus 300 times 1 plus 50 times 3, right? Plus, you're following, right? 250 times 3 plus 200 times 2 plus 150 times 5, isn't it? That is the last one. Yeah? Yeah, then you just, you know how we do it. Just work out this, add everything together. That's the total costs that you find using the least cost cell method. We are good?
We are good, boss.
Any question?
No question.
All right. So basically, this is what we were expected of doing. Yeah, using these methods. Let's do the last method. the VAM. Again, now I'll be a bit quicker because I mean, I've been doing the same thing again and again. So I have to be a bit quicker. Right? Yeah, we have the sources. Actually, it should not sit like this. This is too spaced. So BB, C, and D. And we also have some supply. Okay. Okay. We are still connected.
Yes, boss.
So you have 3. You have 1. You have 7 and 4. Then you have 300. This one you pay attention. Is the VAM method you've been hearing about. 2, 6, 5, and 9. 400. Okay. And then you got to have 8, 3, 3, and 2. This to give us 500. Then the demand, as usual, is 250, 350, and 400, and 200, right? Yes. So put together, this is what we have. Okay? We know that it is already balanced. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. So how do you do the VAM method or the Vogels approximation method? We do it like this. So you go to the minimum cell, and the second minimum. So we'll do this. Look at the way how I'm going to do it. First, I'll draw these lines. Okay, you understand. So let's go. So we are going to let's follow first of all, we can follow the rows or the suppliers. 1. Let's look for the minimum number and the second minimum number. Then we take the difference. What is the minimum number? It's 1, right?
1.
Followed by 3. So 3 minus 1, it is giving us 2. You write 2 this side in that row. You get it, eh?
So
You're
we're
following,
supposed to
right?
pick the minimum number and the next minimum number, right?
Yeah, then we take the difference.
The next
The next
minimum number is
one,
not supposed to be 2.
which 2? Like in the same row, like we are looking at the row, the entire row.
Oh,
We are in row 1 now. So we go to row 2. The minimum is 2, right? The next minimum is 5. 2 minus 5 giving us 3. Then the next one is 2 and 3. This gives us 1, right? Then we go to the columns now. The minimum is 2 followed by 4, giving us 2, right? 3 and 5, giving us 2. 3 and 1, giving us 2, right? Mm-hmm.
And that pere 2 inside 3 And for second one, it was 3 and 2, which is 1. And then our papa, which one are you picking for you to get my 2?
It's still the same thing. We are looking for the minimum and the following minimum. Then take the difference.
Now we are using the laws.
We are done using the rows. The rows are these that move like this. So now we are using the columns, these that are vertical. Like A, B, C, D. Those are columns.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we go to A, 2 and 3 gives us 1, right? As the difference. Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask in advance so that when we pass this stage, we pass it for good.
No, I understand now.
Yeah. So we have to select these that we have written are called penalties. So you have to select the maximum penalty. Check where there is a maximum penalty. The maximum penalty is on 3, right? It can either be along the rows or both on the rows and columns. They are penalties. So 3 is the maximum penalty you get, which means the row is this 2, right?
Which 2?
Like it's on this line where 3 is, that row where there is 3. That is the,
The row
that is the,
penalty.
So what is the least cost in this row?
And which cost us 200?
The least cell, like the least cell.
Or 2? The least unit.
Yeah, in the cell. It's just because the cell typically means a box sack. That's cell. Okay. So you have seen how we move. Penalties, then maximum penalty, then you follow that row or that column where you have the penalty. Then when you follow that row, you look for the minimum, the lists. And the lists, in our case, is 200. Then from there, we'll do the allocation. We're allocating 250 versus 400, which will just be 250, right? You're following, eh? And that will make us cancel that one and this one. Obviously, you understand this is the same thing, isn't it? Because there is 250 here. And this will give us 150, right? Okay. Then when we are done with that, again, we have to do in the remaining rows. Again, we have to do other penalties. Let's take the other penalties. Okay? The ones that are not assigned. Okay? So, how do we take the penalties? We have remained with that row. This particular row is 1, 7, and 4. Okay. 1, 7, 4. So it's 1 and 4, right? The difference is 3, right? Then with this other one,
It's 5
what do
and
we remain?
8. Which is
5
1.
and 8. Yeah.
5 and 8.
5
Is
and
it not 6?
like we are dealing with the rows first. We are still doing the rows. So now we're in the second row.
This
Okay.
one which has 5, 6, 5, 9, right?
Yeah. So the difference is 1. And then this last one as well, the difference is 1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then we come to the columns. Which column is the, this will be 2 again, eh?
Mm. And the next one, 2 again.
It will still be 2,
So
2. This one is cancelled. It has been cancelled. So just draw a dash. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Again, let's choose the maximum. Penalty is on 3. Choose the minimum. The minimum will be 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is 300 versus 350, which will be 300, right?
Mm-hmm.
300 versus this 250. And since this is 300, we cancel this start, right? And here will remain with the 50. I guess you're following, you're not getting mixed up now. It's been the same
Yes.
stuff. Okay. Once we are done doing this, again, we need other penalties, another set of penalties for the remaining cells. Another set of penalties. Now the first row and the first column, they are cancelled. So you're just dealing with these other rows. Okay, so 659, the penalty is 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, here is still 1.
1.
Again, it's 5 versus, oh, this is 9 and 2, it will be 7 now. This will be 7,
7,
isn't it?
2, 3.
This will be 2, right? This will be
Mm-hmm.
3. Then the last one is just a dash. And even this one is a dash that side. Okay. Maximum penalty is now 7. You're following, eh? It's a column now.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the least number in this column? Is 2. So allocate from here. You're following, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So the minimum is 200. If this is 200, then even this one will be cancelled, right? So that guy is 200 in the entire column. This will remain with 300. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And we are, oh, we have still remained with another one. We need to do another set of iterations. Okay. So the rows that are still pending is row 1. The difference is 1, right? Because it's
Mm-hmm.
6 and 5. Then this other one, what is the difference? There is no difference. This
0.
one is 0. This one, the difference is 2. This one is 3. So we are working with 3. 3 is the penalty now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So the minimum in this is the same 3, isn't it?
Yes.
And then there is 50 versus 300. So you just put 50. 50, this 50 versus 300. 50. Okay. And this 50 is was the maximum in terms of the destinations under B. So you cancel this one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Now the
So
only
we
one that we have just remained with only one column and one row, such that when we do the iterations in terms of the columns,
could be 0.
yeah. So for that reason, since it's just one row, one column, um, you just have to deal with the minimum between these two again. It will balance. What's the minimum between these two?
3.
The minimum is 300. Okay. What will remain here is it? It's 100. Is it?
Yes.
There will be 100 somewhere. Yeah. And then you come to the next iteration. So this one is 100. So you go to the next one. The next one is just 5. 5 allocated either between 100 and 150. So we just put 100 like that. And we're done with the iterations. You got it?
Yes, sir.
When we are done with these iterations, then we can create space. We have created these penalties, then we can just go ahead and do the same stuff that we were doing now. Yeah? In the allocated cells. So there is 300 times 1 plus what? 250 times 2 plus
50, 50 times
100,
3.
50 times 3, which is 150, plus
100 by 5.
500, plus 900. 300 times 3, plus
200 times 2. 400.
that's 400, right? Yeah, so you can do the addition. You can do the adding. Do the addings. Do the addings. What do you have as the addings?
Let me use my calculator. I don't think.
So the only common mistake that people can make is when doing the allocation, because doing those cancellations, right? Where this demand has been completed. You remember where we cancel. So that's where people miss it. Right? You find that you had canceled, you reduce. Then next time maybe you forget to cancel. Then the numbers will start going left. So you have to make sure that where you be careful at, oh, this time here you had remained with 300. Now I've deducted, for example, 50. Let's go and do something. You get, huh? So those cancellations, if you can just take care of them, then you are fine. I think the procedure has been understood. So you just have to work out these, do the additions, and then you find the total figure. That's the total cost using the VAM. So basically, that's how you deal with the VAM. Okay?
And the structure is the same.
Yeah, the same way how I was explaining. That's what